My biggest fashion regret, I really don't know. I mean, I have done some things where they like, girl, so you just gonna wear that mini skirt? You just gonna? I mean, I will say it ain't been no, the skirts, the mini skirts happening now with the buttocks out. They got
Mm-hmm.
the cheeks loose. Cheek
Mm-hmm.
cheek city. I ain't never did that, but I have, I really at one point I really loved like the 70s aesthetic. So I was
I
really
love
doing
that
like the mini
still.
skirts and the go-go boots and stuff. So I was doing a lot of stuff like that. And also too, as a heavier chested woman, I was, making some choices. Not to necessarily have like low cut, but I was wearing halters and I was doing all kind of stuff. I think maybe my biggest, or not even biggest, but what comes to mind, and I don't even know if you remember this moment. I was just getting into makeup
Mm-hmm.
and I went to a Mary Kay event. I'm dating myself at this point. I went to a Mary Kay event hosted by a friend, and I just,
Which which friend? I
they
know this
did.
friend.
Yes, they are no longer with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you may know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my makeup done, and I just thought, so that was like my first time because I really at that point had never dibbled or dabbled. I did a little eyeshadow, did a little eyeliner. Oh, the wing baby was wigging. The eyeliner I would do all the time, and the lip liner, I was a Leah. You could tell me I wasn't
Period.
a Leah.
Black,
I had the
dark
swoop and
brown.
everything. I had the swoop, the straight hair, everything. But I went to the Mary Kay event and they did like foundation. They did it, and I was just like, oh, they did like a red lip. I was like, oh, I'm looking interested, and I posted it on Facebook, and you was like, who did your makeup? You was like, who did your makeup? And I said I went to a Mary Kay event. I said I went to a I went
I'm
to
finna start
Mary Kay event.
crying. I'm finna start crying. And what happened? What else I say? What I say?
You said, "Oh, that's interesting." Uh, um, okay, that's all you had said on
I
Facebook, right?
might
And
tell
then I
you a
had
joke, but
seen
I'm
you,
not gonna tell you a lie. I'm not gonna
and
tell
then
you a
I had
lie.
seen you.
I might tell you a joke, but I'm not gonna tell you a lie. I'm not gonna tell you a lie.
Sarah, I
I'm
said so.
crying. I'm crying.
I was like, okay, and then I had seen you in person, and you was like,
Ooh.
yeah, that foundation was way too light. You was really casket ready, and I said,
I feel like I remember you looking gray. You looking gray, and
I
which
was
is gonna
like,
make you
and in my
look dead.
mind. In my mind, I'm thinking, well,
Ooh.
I got my face. This was before they were saying beat or whatever, but I got my full face done. This was like one of the only times I had really never, because not, I don't want to sound braggadocious or anything, but I've always really had decent
Nice
skin. Like I really
skin. No,
have
you
never
have
had it.
beautiful skin.
So
You have beautiful skin.
I really didn't get into foundation till I got way older.
Mm.
And I like foundation. I mean, it does what it needs to do, but there were a lot of times where I would do makeup and I wouldn't do foundation. And this was
Right,
like one of
right.
the first times I
Mm-mm.
had somebody do my full face. So they did foundation, they did eyeshadow, they did lipstick, they did, and
Mm,
you was
mm,
like,
mm.
yeah, you may want to take that picture.
Man, I was a
And
mess,
I
huh? I was a
said,
mess. Baby,
well,
I'm
I
not gonna have my
guess.
friend out here like that.
But no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you telling me now. When I look back on that photo, or when I have, because it's no longer available to the general public, um, I'm like, yeah, she was right. I have, so I have a coworker. We went to a like event where we had to win prizes, and they won me this taco. I look like this taco. This is what I was looking like. This taco right here.
Okay,
Um,
here's the thing though. I would like to break down the problem here. When you are as a makeup artist.
If my color was this Ricola, they put the white on me. That was me.
Listen, here's the problem. When you are a woman of
I didn't
color,
know no better.
I'm just saying, explain to the audience what the problem was. When you have
Absolutely.
a woman of color, you have what we call hyperpigmentation. Everybody has hyperpigmentation if you're a woman of color. Okay, so that's areas on your face where that are darker than other areas, i.e.,
Mhm.
around the mouth. Along
Yeah.
the chin. Over here in this area, underneath the cheekbones, you usually have
Teach the
some
people.
depth there, all of that. Underneath the eyes, you usually have some darkness. Anywhere where you have some dark marks because of acne or a scar, blah blah blah, you have hyperpigmentation.
Mm.
Um, the skin overproduces melanin. Okay, so if I take that darkness and slap a way lighter color on top of that, that darkness is going to show through underneath. And if it's a yellow tone color, it's gonna make you look gray, i.e., casket ready. Which is why I be like, you look dead. You don't have any warmth.
I
Warmth,
was like, oh girl, I'm killing. Ooh, kill him. Yeah,
right?
no, actually, I'm killing myself. I'm
You're
actually
dead.
dead.
You killed yourself. Okay, so which is why you like, oh, I look dead. Like I look like a casket because you have no warmth, right, to the skin. If you're in the photography or anything, you have like no warm saturation where you warm up and it
Yeah,
looks better on
exactly.
camera when you put the picture out.
Mhm.
So what we do on the makeup side is two things we do. We either color correct where we go in and touch up those dark areas with a warm shade, like an orangey shade. And then we go on it with a little bit of, not too light, but if we try to match other parts of your face which are lighter, then it'll cancel out and you won't look dead. Or we just do your shade a little bit warmer. Warmth usually looks a little bit good, like looks good on everybody, even my
Yeah,
my Caucasian sisters. You know what I'm saying? It usually looks
it kind
good.
of get. It's like you like.
Sun kissed.
Anybody looks good in the sun. I was gonna say
Right.
anybody looks good in the sun.
Right. So you want, that's kind of what you want. So we don't want to be castrated. So please, when you're putting on your makeup, try not to do the light shade all over your face. If you want to do a little bit
Mhm.
lighter, keep it in the center of the face, and then around the edges go a little deeper. So there we go. That's our beauty tip of the day.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
You're
that. Let's put that in
welcome.
there. Beauty
We're
tip
not
of the
we're not dead, we're
day.
alive. Okay?
We're alive. We're yet alive. Like he is. Okay. So interesting. Yes, that probably was like because the only reason I remember it is because I posted it to Facebook, and I'm thinking in my mind, man, a lot of people saw it. I'm like, ooh, I'm killing them. I got a full face of makeup. Meanwhile, they thinking, no, ooh, she been killed. She
That's
actually is dead. Uh,
okay, but here's
so
the thing. That brings up another topic. Like, can we briefly address this? What do you do when your friend thinks she cute and you like, you look not as good as you think you look? How do we handle that as friends? Should we tell our friends, or should we like allow them to express themselves, or should we be like, friend?
absolutely. It see there's a difference between expression and making a fool of yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
I can be kind and say like what I like this is what I like to do. I like to ask what were you going for? What
You do
if you're
that.
looking for a specific look, like what was your goal? And then it allows me to measure where you are against that goal. So if it's a situation where you like, I want to look soft glam, I want to look like I woke up like this, but you got lashes from here to Texas, and you got red lipstick on it, that's not giving I woke up like this kind of. So
Mm-hmm.
now I think it's our responsibility. I live by this in personal as well as business. I learned about it in business, but I've also brought it into my personal life, there's a rhetoric called radical candor, right? So you like, because you care about someone, you're willing to be radically candid with them because you would rather take the brunt of what's happening in the moment versus what will happen eventually after that. So I'm willing to be the person before you get on stage to say, hey, you have a booger in your nose. I need you to take that out. And yeah, it may be an awkward moment between us in the moment, but now I have saved you from going on stage and it being an awkward moment between you and 1,000 or whatever people. And I'm
Yeah.
willing to take the brunt of that because I care about you and I want you to present yourself in the best way possible.
Yeah, and if you're my friend and you allow me to go around looking and I have lipstick on my teeth or I look a hot mess, and then I got a problem with you because you're supposed to be looking out for
Yeah,
my best interest. So,
you're
be
not
it
my
saying
friend.
that
Let's
to
just be
say,
honest.
was you? How did you feel about me when I told you about your makeup, though? How did you feel about that?
I said, well, here's the thing. This goes back to the term friend, right? I respected your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
right? I considered you someone who cared about me, who not only cared about me, but I knew you had a background in that industry. You grew up around it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there's no way she's telling me this to be a hater or whatever. She clearly is telling me something that she is very well versed in. And that's another
Mm-hmm.
thing, right? If you present it or you approach it, let me not say present it. If you approach it from a stance of not being prideful, then it's like this person does know a little bit more about this in this aspect. So when you did the Facebook message, I knew. I said, now why is she saying that? But you wouldn't say it on Facebook, which I appreciate. See, you could have said it on Facebook. You could, and then that would have pissed me off. And then that would have been, I would have been like, now why you had to put the business out there? Like, why you have to say it on Facebook? Why you couldn't just have a private conversation
Ooh.
with me? Pull people
Okay.
to the side. But because you didn't say it on Facebook, you just brought it to my attention. And then, and then you had the private conversation with me. I was
Pull
like,
your
oh, this
friends to
person
the
actually really
side.
does. Call
Pull
them
your friends to
in.
the
Don't call them
side.
out. This
Okay,
whole
that's a
call out
word.
this whole call out thing, I don't like it. I
Because
don't I'm not a fan of it.
no, because it's not about my goal is not to embarrass you. My goal is to make sure that you
Right.
are
If I
in,
really want you to change,
yeah,
I can't do it if I make you feel like
offend
the
you.
elephant in the room and I've
Yeah.
offended you and now all of a sudden you close yourself off immediately from
Yeah.
offense. If somebody offends
Yeah.
you, I'm no longer hearing anything you have to say.
No one, and then nobody
So,
wants to be called out in front of everyone. Like you could tell me the same
absolutely
exact
not.
thing in front of everyone, and then you could tell me the same exact thing in private, and people are going to take it two different ways. So, my goal
Absolutely.
is never to offend. My goal is always to like make sure you're good and make sure you're your best. And I think as friends,
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do. But when you call people out in front of other people, that's going to piss people off. Like 100% because you wouldn't want
It's
anybody
going
to do
and,
that to
and
you.
rightfully so because you
Yeah.
wouldn't want you just said it. You wouldn't want someone to do that to you. And you also like I'm a big proponent of what was your motive and what were you hoping the outcome would be.
Right. Right.
Those are two
Mm-hmm.
questions. I'm like, so you said this in front of these people. What were you hoping the response to be? What were
Mm-hmm.
you hoping to happen? You know what I'm saying? And then when you get into those questions, you kind of get a deeper understanding of why people do the things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it is malicious.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and nobody wants to be called out on malicious intent, but you're just
yeah.
not gonna, I'm not gonna call you a friend and then you're doing things that seem malicious to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wasn't offended. I didn't know anything. I thought I looked like the bee's knees. I was like, I got a full face. I just got a freebie. I had bought the makeup and everything. See, this was, let me not say I dated myself in the sense of like, okay, Mary Kay was high in the 70s and people was pink Cadillacs. They were trying to rebrand themselves with people in the 2010-ish era,
Mm-hmm.
and so the friend that I had this person, and they were older, who came and they were just like doing stuff and selling. And I bought the whole line. Like I was like, I'm
Okay,
getting the
don't get on
foundation.
Mary Kay. Okay,
I'm
here's the
getting,
thing. Mary Kay
and I
has
know
some
it
great
wasn't
products.
bad. They did, but I
Yeah.
was so naive. It was a double entendre for me because
Mhm.
I was trying to support my friend. So I was like, okay, this person had did all this work to do my face and do all this makeup. So I was like, oh, and so I just bought, all the stuff. And don't you right because they had a concealer that I was using for many, 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 many years. It
Mhm. They had
wasn't
some good
until I
stuff.
came across, yeah, they had some good stuff. It wasn't until I came across, like, I think there was a matte concealer, and then post that, Fenty came out with concealer, and now I really love that concealer.
Mhm.
But I was using that concealer a lot. Like, it was very good. And I would have used the foundation too if it had been
It
my type.
matched. It didn't match.
But they didn't have that, and that's another
Mhm.
conversation for another day. We could talk about the evolution of people knowing that skin tones are not linear. um, you can have a variety of colors. So,
Mhm.
okay. Next up, we heard Ashanti is pregnant.
Good for her.
Yay, good
Exciting.
for her.
Love
So,
beautiful babies.
beautiful, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns. I feel like her and Nelly will definitely make a beautiful baby. She's very beautiful. So I was thinking about the conversation of spinning the block because it's just been
Mm. That is something. That's truly something.
it's been a conversation, right? People
Woo!
have officially coined their relationship and Nelly specifically as the winner of the split spin the block contest. Like he spun the
Mhm.
block 10 years later or however long. He got his girl. They've been in the media. It's been looking very cute, very I'm so happy, and now they're about to have a baby. So how do you
Mhm.
feel about spinning the block?
Ooh, my throat got dry.
Not something in your throat. You need to
Okay, here are
take
my
a
true
sip.
feelings. I think it's you have to look at why the block was left in the first place, like why you left. You got in your car, drove off
Mhm.
the block, and decided that you needed to move. You know,
Yeah.
was there shooting going on? Was there gun violence? Was there
Gun violence
what's happening on this
was.
block that you need to leave? See, I'm from Chicago and we got blocks, okay?
ah. Oh yeah, not
Yeah.
Chirac. Jesus.
Yep. Don't do that to my
Oh, I'm
city.
so sorry. That's just what
Okay,
I know.
so
I mean,
okay.
even though I've been and I have enjoyed myself, but I've never
Every
felt
time you've
unsafe.
been, you was
I have
safe and
never,
sound
yes,
in his
I've really
arms.
felt, I've eaten some great food. I've seen some great scenery. I've never felt unsafe.
Thank you.
So, but the streets is calling out Chirac.
We
The
don't
streets,
receive
I
that.
don't,
We
I
don't
don't have
receive that.
anything to do. I don't have anything
Okay.
to do with that.
Here's here's what I'm
Blame
saying.
Nick Cannon.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Why did you leave the block? Was it
Wow.
dirty?
Hmm.
Was it dirty and unkempt? Nobody mows their lawn. Nobody cleans up. It's litter everywhere. Was it gun violence? Where streetwalkers? What's happening? On this block
Okay.
that you decided that you needed to move. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying let's look at why you left the block. If and then was it just bad timing? Things of that nature. So if it was just like a bad timing thing, or maybe like, there's some growing that needs to happen, okay, and then you go back and
Hmm.
you see if there's some growth to happen. But like those core values of a person, um, they're probably not going to change that much.
Oh
So,
yeah.
um, I don't think it's wise. I think it's not a ton of times where you're going to spend the block and it's going to be a good idea. So, yeah, just think about why you left. Did they cheat? Were they unfaithful? Were they liars? Probably don't want to go back. Was it toxic? Y'all didn't get along. You know what I'm saying?
Character flaws.
Communication, character, right? Character flaws is like a part
Hmm.
of your. your
Yeah.
morale, like who you are as a person, core values, um, probably not a good idea to come back around. But, to each their own. That's something you have to figure out. But if they were in any way abusive or anything, do not go back to the block. Leave forever. Run and don't look back. You know?
The block is blocked off.
Right.
Don't even. It's a barricade. Don't even go back.
Don't go back. Don't go back. Leave it right where it is. Go find new
I think
pastures. There are new blocks. There are new
yeah,
cities.
there are new
So
cities,
much to explore.
You don't even have to be in the same. You don't. Not
Go
only do
somewhere
you
else.
not have to avoid the block, you can avoid the whole city. I can
You
avoid
know,
the whole
making our way
outskirts.
downtown. Go somewhere else. Go to a new
Walking
city.
fast, yes. Faces pass. Like you could go
Homebound.
somewhere
Go
else.
somewhere else. So
You
that's my
definitely can
humble
do that.
opinion.
I appreciate that. I too have similar sentiments. I cannot lie and say that I have not spun the block because I
Mhm.
have. Well, someone spun the block on me, and
Okay.
I opened the garage and I said, "Well, come on in. We can do it. We can spin the block and let's see." And then I was quickly reminded why the garage was
Why
closed
you
in the first
left?
place. You just are like, I don't even understand how we got here. Like I just
Folks don't be
get out.
changing. They do
They
not really
don't.
be changing.
People don't be. That's the thing. That
It's hard to
people don't
change.
understand.
It is
It's
very
hard to
difficult.
change, and people don't be
More
changing.
often than
They don't
not.
be
More often than
changing.
not. They
More
really don't
often
change.
than not, they will stay because there are a couple of factors into it. But I'm gonna name a couple. I'm gonna name a few. This ain't it. This is not it. But I'm gonna name a few. They may be major. One reason
Hmm.
people don't change. It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and
Yes,
see the
man.
broken pieces and want to put them back together.
Yeah, that's
That's tough.
difficult. Yeah.
Two, people don't change because they are accepted by other people. So
Yeah,
it's like
nobody.
if this
Hmm.
behavior is being accepted on one, it kind of likens it to me. And you've been in the education realm before. For me, when I think about it, I think about a troubled student, right? If it's not being reinforced by the parent that they're being troubled, they're thinking that this behavior is okay.
Hmm.
So a lot of times people don't change because people just accept them for who they are.
Hmm.
Actually, this is not who you are. You demonic, but that's another conversation. Um, and then also three, it's just like I can do this merry-go-round as long as I want, and who's gonna stop me?
Yeah.
So I'm just be, and then and now you did this where you get the people who spin the block
Yeah.
because it's like you start. Here's what I've realized, especially getting older, when you get into your 30s, especially, and I know I probably will say even something more different than when I get into my 40s and all that. But when you get into your 30s out of your 20s and you learn people get older, it's less. It's just not cute. It's not acceptable. It's not coy. It's not soft. It's not. This is who I am. It's not he ha ha. You look pathetic. You're dusty.
you, you look
Your hair
dusty.
uneven.
That's exactly
Like
what I think.
you
That's
just
exactly what I thought when you
really
said you're
look.
not cute. You
You're
look
not
dusty.
cute. You look crazy.
Yes,
You look crazy, and then cause the elf they be trying to tell you. I remember being in high school, and I had teachers who were in their late 20s, early
honey.
30s, around the same
Ooh, you
age,
look
talking
dusty.
and saying like, "You got to get it together," because not to me, but like to other. And I'd be like, "Man, that old that N word old." No, listen to these people. Listen to wisdom when wisdom is at your feet because you look crazy. It ain't even a beautiful gown situation. You just look wild, and you need to get yourself
Man.
together. So, I would not spin the block. in my personal life, just because
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you
I'm
something. Let me
thinking
tell you something.
about I'm thinking about the situations that I've dealt with, and I'm like, nothing warrants me one. If any, that may be a problem if I say it.
Let me tell you something.
If anything, if I spin the block, I'm gonna have an AK in my hand. I ain't spinning the block to stop. I'm spinning the block to block. Bop, 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 bop. That's why I'm spinning the block. Just Jesus, do your big one.
Listen, never.
Eradicate it.
Never say never. Yeah, no. I'm saying never. I'm never going back. Any block I've
Absolutely not.
left, it was because
The block is
it
hot.
need it
Hot,
needed to
hot.
be left. So it's no reason for me to go back. But I appreciate what I learned from that block, and I'll
Yeah,
take it with me on my new journey. So
absolutely. I will take those learnings into my new block in my new city.
in my new
Um,
city.
and the best of luck to you and your block.